Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Dual Hearts. Today we'll be finishing off Yuri's dream, hopefully. But first, oh no! Jellyfish with lips. Or I should say jelly drops, according to Bumble. Yeah, they make these creepy inhaling noises because their main goal is to suck up Issamons whenever you generate them. Obviously the easiest way to take care of them is with the draw card, now that we have it. You know, there's this little fire stun effect every time we hit him with it, which is pretty cool. That'll also happen if we hit regular enemies with it with a melee attack. As long as you have at least a level 2 combo, you'll do the little spinning attack as your second combo hit, and as it turns out, that also will light the enemy on fire, hit it with ice or lightning, or whatever you've got in your draw card at the time. Anyway, let's go check out this platform, because it's awfully conspicuous out here. Puzzle is pretty easy. Jump on the O's, avoid the X's. This puzzle is probably swapped in the Japanese version, because I believe the meaning of the O and the X are swapped in, at least in the PlayStation 2 controller over there. Our reward is Dream Energy. Now, I kind of forget what I was doing here. I mean, I recorded this a week ago. Apparently we're doing camera gymnastics. In, out, right, left, up, down, something like that. Looking at the wall. Something down there, maybe. This looks like something I would do. Man, you fall a long way in this level. These really wide open levels are designed to be flown in. There's a fly pad that we haven't actually run across yet, similar to the sheep stream. So yeah, the point at which you regenerate at the top is really low down in this level. Specifically for that reason, so you don't accidentally fly off the bottom just while exploring. But anyway, here's an awfully conspicuous torch. Just like everything else in the game so far. Couple rings. Of course, the grass produces fire Esmons when I already have it on the draw card. It'd be nice if that happened when I actually needed it. More fire Esmons, man. They're all over the place. I'm pretty sure this is still random. Of course, these jelly drops respawn. Notice there's a little blurring effect every so often. That is not the video quality. It's another sub-theme of the dungeon. Since Yuri can't see, apparently it affects our eyesight, or the camera's eyesight in the dungeon. It kind of weirds me out a little bit, because does that mean the cameraman is whoever you're in the dream of? Like, it's a little strange, and I don't know, I jumped off the side again. I have no idea. Seriously, I'm gonna have a good talk with the version of myself from about a week ago about how to correctly play a game. Let's just skip to an actually competently played portion of the game, hopefully. Kill this guy, same way. Unfortunately, the little stun from the draw card also gives the enemy some invincibility frames, so you can't just spam the attack. I guess that would be a little too easy. You're supposed to be able to hit them with melee attacks, but I couldn't figure out how to do it here. I think you might actually have to have the draw card equipped to hit them with the elemental sort of splash damage. Anyway, moving on. I think there's another one here, but at this point I'm pretty sure I start ignoring them. You have to move pretty far away. See, there he is. He sucks up the Ismons. You have to move pretty far away to get them to stop following you. They will track you for a pretty long time. Not only that, but they do actually attack the hero. They don't do it in this video, obviously, but they will sneak up on you if you're in the middle of another melee combat with a different enemy, and sort of collapse on you, which is pretty awkward when you're not watching the skies, especially considering it's very difficult to keep your perspective on more than one thing at a time. Anyway, another puzzle. Flaming platforms do not respond well to ice Essamons, so puzzle solved. Moving on. This is another one of the size-changing aspects of this dream. So this will be pretty familiar to most people who played platformers before. The puzzle, the little square platforms change size arbitrarily as you jump across them. Of course, you know, a blur shows up right as I'm trying to do some platforming segments. You can see those 3 rings. Again, as I said, you'll be flying in this area once we learn how to do that. And so the game is just going ahead and letting us know there will also be an obstacle right there. Oh god, almost fall off the side again. Somehow that time I managed to stop myself. Go me. Check it out. This is a really cute animation of Bumble's. He'll balance an Essamon on his nose and eat it when he needs exactly one. As it turns out, we actually needed that Essamon, and you can't suck them off of his nose with the draw card. But the game was nice enough to give us another one. So as you can see, we've opened the entrance to that temple. We've got 3 minutes to get up there. That happens to be just barely enough time to traverse all of the puzzles we'll have to do, make a few mistakes, which I definitely do, and also pick up all the collectibles. Barely, and that includes the fact that I wasted 24 seconds trying to find myself a fire Essamon by doing that little bit out of order. Anyway, moving on. Zoom. Check it out. These little red platforms are another puzzle. You can see the solution off there in the distance, but I missed it while I was playing this, so it takes me a while to puzzle out what I'm trying to do here. Blue. Yep. Imagine that blue doesn't do anything. Green. Yellow. I really want those rings. Bing, bing, bing. At this point, it occurs to me I definitely need better perspective on this puzzle, because obviously there has to be a hint somewhere, and as it turns out, I'm right. Once we back up enough to see it, you can see two monoliths on the other side of this pit, requiring us to have green on one side and blue on the other. So once we do that, you will get used to these because they do show up in the next level as well. We get an extending bridge. This bridge will actually extend and retract, so you can't just sit here and wait for it. You'll actually lose some vital time by not just charging across it immediately. Platforms, another piece of dream energy. That's 15. For all the issues I had with the first part of the game showing us collectibles without allowing us to get them, this part of the game certainly is giving us at least a little bit. We got a tummy up fragments at the end of those platforms, 2 dream energy already, and whatever's actually nothing is produced by that switch. That was just mandatory. I really want these 5 rings, which kind of conflicts with the fact that I only have a minute to make it to the end of this path. Of course, as I said, we do in fact in the future know any spoilers for this. Know that we have just enough time to get to the end. Spikes that we can ignore completely. You can sort of see off to the right there are some more targets similar to what we saw in Florence's Dream. Obviously we'll have to come back to get those once we actually have the item to shoot targets with. Shocking, I know, for a Zelda game. Some dream energy, crate, and that's it. And those rings are right there. I wonder if I have to fly through all of them at the same time, because it looks like it'll be really difficult to avoid smacking into this temple. A bunch of rings. 11 seconds left. Go, go, go! No time for health. You don't even need it. No time to read the hint. Check our status. At this point, it occurred to me that I really want to level up the spear, because I tend to have the sword equipped most of the time, meaning it's been gathering the bulk of the experience. So I guess I was keeping an eye on my experience to be aware of the fact that, well, since bosses, the handful of bosses that are killable with melee attacks give 10 weapon experience points, I really wanted to get the boss of this level with the spear. It's pretty mundane. Doesn't really look like a place where we'd find Yuri's glasses, but I guess we can watch him do a belly flop. He does have some adorable animation. Uh-oh, Jaws perspective. This can't be good. Of course, nobody actually saw that thing in the pond, just showed up. It's the Lizard Man. There's always a Lizard Man. You have the little limp-wristed, like, trident throwing motion. I'm not really sure what that's all about. Anyway, the pattern here is fairly straightforward. The hint that we did not get because I skipped Little Hint Monolith is that he's weak to lightning, meaning our first order of business, well, I mean, first of all, I'll equip the spear because I want to fight using the spear. But the second thing we'll do is find some Thunder Isamon, some yellow Isamon, and equip it into the draw card. Of course, went ahead and let myself get hit. But after this, the pattern is actually pretty straightforward. Enemies get stunned much more easily if you hit them with a draw card of the proper element. So I'm trying here to get the permanent lock-on with the hard-hitting R1, but as I've said before, it's actually really difficult, especially on an old PS2 controller, to get that to work correctly. So I do some... oh, there we go. Finally get the lock-on. I don't think that throwing the draw card is related at all to him jumping out. I think it's just incidental that he keeps doing it while I'm trying to attack him. I don't believe that you can do any damage to him while he's in here, except when he surfaces. There are a couple of attacks that he does, which we'll see later on. There we go. He can stab with a spear. And he'll also throw some things, which I'll show later. Aside from a couple of attacks, I don't think he's actually vulnerable when he's in the water. We can get knocked in there. And again, we don't have the ability to dive down there and attack him while he's submerged. Take a few hits sort of sloppily, because, you know, we've got virtual 29 health, so there's very little incentive to actually bother. Doing damage at a very slow pace really would have helped if I ground our weapons up to level 4, since, you know, it doesn't really take that long, since we do about double damage. But I guess I'll have to make do with this. I'll skip around a little bit. This will show off his last attack. He shoots out 3 projectiles, and you can bat them back at him with the sword, but he doesn't do it often enough that I can really get the rhythm down, and I'm not really using the sword most of the time anyway. I think at some point during this video, I re-equipped the sword just to try it out, But at that point he's so low in health that I don't really get to actually do it. Beat him up a little bit very, very slowly. Alright, he's one hit away from dying, and as I said, I do have this sword equipped. So let's move to the spear and deliver the final blow. Pick up 10 experience points and put us that much closer to getting our first level 3 weapon. I believe we're currently 21 points away from getting the spear at level 3. Another coin for Rumble to eat. Alright! Yay! Okay, it looks proud. Hooray, and we can swim underwater. You think it wouldn't be that difficult, and if you notice something fall into the water, that's actually the sheep very subtly following us. Yep, the glasses. That's awfully nice of him. Those glasses are huge relative to what Yuri's head size is. I kind of like to think that the lizard man was just kind of sitting there like reading a novel using Yuri's reading glasses until we came and disrupted him peacefully. There he is. Took him a while to surface. Of course we need a diving tutorial. There's no way we would know how to do this on our own. We do get a hint though. Take a swim and search for treasures of the ruins. By treasures he means a treasure, which we'll just go get right now while we're here. You actually can't re-enter the boss arenas in the game without re-fighting the boss, so we might as well do this right now so we don't have to go through that incredibly tedious fight all over again. Show off that we can dash into here, pick up 1 gold Isamon, giving us 8 total, putting us 42 away from the next collectible threshold. Hooray. Let's pick the actual, like, useful prizes for winning this boss fight. You know, a tummy up giving us 24, and a health up giving us 7. In other words, virtual 31 health. And the blue key, meaning we can open the last door in the lobby of the Dream Trial. Let's get out of here. And Yuri can finally wake up at his leisure and go back to reading that wall. Or whatever it was he was doing. Very loose definition of crisis. Seems like a good enough idea. We've also got some backtracking to do now that we know how to swim. Let's have that for the next video, though. And also, first, a cutscene. Shocking, I know. His tummy's talking to him. Where's Stompy during all this? Royal visit, no fanfare. Remember, the Queen was possessed in the last cutscene, so it seems highly unlikely that anything good's going to come from this little royal visit. Considering it only should have taken him about 20 minutes to open up the doors and pass the trials, like, she probably should have known by now that there was a serious problem with the whole process. Yep. The game is a little unclear on this point, because the Queen is clearly angry that the keys are lost, but the keys are what are intended to defeat, you know, the Black Calamity, and the Black Calamity is possessing the Queen, so it's kind of unclear if the Queen is acting in the Black Calamity's interests, or if she's just gotten really mean and upset, like, while she's trying to fight off its influence. I'm not really helped by what happens next. After we're done standing around for a while, looking really sorry for ourselves. There we go. Working on it. Action pose. Where's that kung fu stance that he used in Val's Dream? See, now that we really don't have any obvious leads, since we've been in the dreams of the 2 people who were closest to the temple at the start of the game, the Queen's gonna help us out a little bit. It doesn't really make sense considering she was possessed by the Black Calamity again. Bumble's pendant now acts as a key detector. It doesn't really work that way like when you're actually walking up to somebody in, you know, the village or whatever, but it will work in cutscenes. Of course, as we suspected, something's up. The Queen doesn't even wait for Bumble to get off screen before laughing maniacally. We'll find out what's wrong.